do something that you're passionate about. It's a tough journey. It's a long journey. So if you enter into it, make sure that you're passionate about it. And it's not just, a cool thing that someone told you about. Mm-hmm. This is one thing. Second, surround yourself with people that you trust and people that are positive. It's a tough journey again. So you need positivity along the journey. And maybe the third part is don't get excited or depressed too often about, the highs and lows. It's a roller coaster.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to another episode of 20-Minute Leaders. Today, I'm with Guy Bejerano, co-founder and CEO of SafeBreach. SafeBreach is an offensive cybersecurity company for the service of defense. It is the world's most widely used breach and attack simulation platform and the pioneer to set this category in Gartner. The company's patented platform provides a near real-time hacker's view of an enterprise's security posture to proactively predict attacks, validate security controls, and improve security operations center analyst response capabilities. Guy founded SafeBreach together with Itzi Kotler in 2014. Prior to founding the company, Bejerano has worked as a CSO in LivePerson, and Kotler has spent time in 8200 unit in the IDF as a hacker. The company is in rapid growth and have raised $106 million to date. It has tripled its employees number in the past 9 months, currently with over 150, and they have over 100 major customers. Guy Bejerano, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for being here with me. How are you?
I'm doing great, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, Guy. Today, you're the co-founder and CEO of SafeBreach, an amazing company. We just discussed how I have quite a few friends who've walked through your corridors, looking at breach and attack simulations, cybersecurity, obviously a world that is dear to my heart, and I'm excited to unfold a little bit with you over these 20 minutes. But your journey doesn't start here. You've acted as a executive in the security field in LivePerson and Mass Technologies. And so looking, quite a bit of a journey. And so I'd love to start there, Guy. Tell me a little bit about your own interaction with the security world. Where does this all start from for you? What draws you into it?
Well, actually, what drew me into the security space, it was by accident. When I say accident, I mean literally by accident. I had an accident that kind of took my course of going into the pilot's course in the Israeli Air Force onto security. So I had no idea what I'm getting into. That was back in the 90s, a long time ago. And I fell in love in this, space that was evolving back then in the days, and did a lot of amazing stuff during the service time with a lot of security around the avionics and weapon systems and things like that. Build the red team in the Air Force, which was very contradiction to the back in the days, the perception of offense and defense, and really try to leverage a new perception to the benefit of the defenders. And through that grew into, as you said, a few CISO roles, and build SafeBreach, started about 8 years ago. Wow. So that's in a nutshell.
So drawing on your positions as CISO and in a few organizations, multinational, global organizations, what were some of the key insights that you had with you as you were going through those journeys that led to the formation of SafeBreach?
Well, I would say a few things. One, the CISO's role is very challenging in a sense that I saw my role as an executive as the person that needs to translate a lot of technical data into business data and business realization of what is our real risk to the company, what are the drivers that can help me to support the business security-wise, And there was nothing in the market that really, helped me to do that. So I realized that back in the days, I was CSO at LivePerson and as a cloud platform, a lot of the challenges were to convince the large enterprises to move their critical data onto our platform. And we did that through proving our worth in security. And the way you do that is actually, showing behind the curtains or under the hood and really being transparent about what you have and let them challenge you. So I try to take that to the next level. And I think all those proactive programs that will challenge our security and of our customers. So we will, won't have to face it first time in production. And then I literally hit a glass ceiling because there was nothing in the market that could help me do that. We tried to build some homegrown solutions, but none of them was, scalable enough to build a program around it. And I remember the thing that actually got me going and building something of my own. I brought in CU White Hat Hackers. And after they showed me 4 ways to hack into our system and get confidential information, I asked them about, is there a 5th scenario? Is there a 10th scenario or more? And what about the 4 that they just found? Are they valid next week or next month? And they had no answer. So they said, we need to retest what we just did, or maybe there is another scenario we didn't think about. We need to keep on, trying. We will probably find it. And one of them realized what I'm trying to do. He actually connected me to my co-founder. And that's how SafeBreach actually started.
We're looking at the world at that moment 8 years ago, and we're looking at this idea of attack simulations, a red team trying to say, okay, we have, we know what we know, and we have perhaps solutions or, defense mechanisms for what we already know we need to be wary of. But there's this whole world of unknown, right? This is sort of the realization that you come to. There's this whole world of unknown, and there's these people who have the skill sets to come and challenge and test what I don't know and try to figure that out. Where is the world in position to this from sort of a market education perspective? Is this a trivial concept? Is this a concept that you then have to sort of explain and educate the market?
That's a great question. So first of all, I would say that it's not that we know what we know. It's we think we know what we know. There's a lot of unknowns in what is supposed to be trivial. So if you take, for example, any, average enterprise organization today, and you will ask the CISO, are they susceptible to an attack that happened a few months back? If they're not using anything like SafeBreach, there's no way for them to know. So it will be guessing, kind of a hope strategy. What we've introduced to the market is the first time the ability to really test yourself against something that might happen, and using that data to understand how good are your defenses. I think the market today really changed and shifted from where it was 8 years ago. And you can see the latest announcement by the US government and by CISA that actually embraces continuous validation testing as part of the standard for enterprise to really increase their security efficacy and reduce risk. And these are concepts that we've established a few years back and now becoming more and more acceptable by the industry.
Right. So take me back 8 years. You're forming this company. You understand the vacuum, the gap that there exists. You understand that you have a great co-founder. You understand there is these people that you can bring on board. How do you build this monster? How do you build this company from the ground up?
I can tell you that we had a plan in advance, but that wouldn't be true. What we did, we actually partnered with a great VC. So we started by Sequoia. And through that, we started to really listen to the market and the market needs. So we started to work with a few, Sequoia literally threw us at a bunch of enterprise organizations, and we started to work with them and to realize what's working, what's not. Decided the enterprise market is our main focus. And through listening to, the need of their CISOs, and we started to build a platform. At the beginning, we focused only on the red side. And then we'll realize that the blue side is very important as well, because it's not just showing an organization that they have gaps, but it's actually to help them to mitigate the gaps, will be critical.
Right.
So we really shifted through the years. And that's how, it all started and grew. And obviously today, we're 150 people across the globe. We started with the US operations, but we have an office in the UK, in Singapore, obviously the tech site in Israel.
Right, of course. If you're taking, enterprise customers or any, company that this would be relevant for, just walk me through sort of the traditional use case of what an engagement with SafeBreach would look like. And I'm sure this is something that, a lot of people that aren't coming from the cybersecurity scene are curious, okay, are there literally people with hoodies sitting around trying to hack into their companies, and how does this whole thing happen? Let's ground this a little bit as to what actually takes place from a company perspective.
Sounds good. So basically, we've built a software solution. It's fully automated, and the idea is that we're bringing the attack to an organization in a controlled way. So they're using our software to really play war games within their infrastructure, whether it will be on-prem, cloud, whatever it is. And through doing that, we have a few patents that we've invented that actually enables us to do that in a very fast and easy way, and also in a very safe manner. So it doesn't impact your production. So you can actually run real executables in your production in a controlled way, and then listen to your security controls. We do that through APIs, and we listen to the controls and try to understand what did they see, what did they try to do. Either they try to prevent our action, did they detect it, did they send the right alert to your SOC, and we then compile all these into one image that the CISO gets that shows them what their level of prevention and detection, and how much of everything we threw at them they've missed. We take all this information and look it back to the security controls, so they can modify their configuration based on our attacks, and make sure that next time someone launches a similar attack, they will either prevent it or detect it and actually do what their security controls intended to do.
Mm-hmm. So how do they see SafeBreach? If you're looking at the CISO of those organizations, and they're looking at sort of the landscape of vendors that they're working with to try and mitigate, the world around them that's trying to defend their ability to operate safely in their core business. And in what way do you imagine that your customers are positioning SafeBreach in their head or in their sort of cognitive landscape?
So we're literally kind of the layer of truth.
Right.
The actual of what will happen if they will do nothing.
Yes.
What's the cost of avoidance?
Right.
We look at it from two different angles. One would be the security vendor and the control validation. So an average, people talk about average of 70 to 100 tools used by the enterprise today, security tools. The level of complexity is just enormous. They have no real way to really cope with the level of that complexity. And what we do in a simple manner, we show them what's the efficacy of all these controls. Not just, against one another, but, let's say that you have 50 different instances of your, the best next gen firewall in the industry. You expect that, all the 50 to act the same because they're machines, right? Well, guess what? Usually it's not the case. So launching the attack against all of them will show you exactly where they're falling short. Sometimes it's a configuration matter, actually most of the time. And sometimes it's, a blind spot that a specific vendor has. And then our customers can go to that vendor and actually ask for a solution. The other side is coming from the threat landscape. So what we've compiled into our software are all the threat actors. You want to test yourself against any ransomware permutation. You want to test yourself against an APT29, the cozy bear, from Russia. You want to test it against the Iranian, the Chinese, whatever threat actor out there. We will provide that within the platform, and you can actually know exactly how you will cope with them when the time comes. It's a great tool for CISOs then take this information into the boardroom and actually talk about real risk. So what's the level of risk that we will impose, against a ransomware attack based on our controls.
So it sounds like, and you said this in the first sentences, you started explaining what SafeBreach is doing. Sort of this layer of truth is, okay, let's say when shit hits the fan, right? What actually is going to happen? What is the risk that we are positioning ourselves against? And then being able to test that in a very real way, right? I mean, that's what the whole point is. Let's actually simulate it in a very real environment, because this is how it would actually turn out if this was the case, right?
Correct.
Where is Guy in all of this? If you're looking sort of at, your own journey, and you mentioned how it all started as an accident, and then a variety of CISO roles, and now an entrepreneur and CEO and thought leader in the space. Where do you see yourself in this whole construction as a part of your own personal vision?
I love the question. So first of all, I'm enjoying myself because it's all new. It's building is it's literally trailblazing. It's going against the conception of what I believe is a broken industry, very siloed industry, and trying to I can see today from after 8 years succeeding to change the mindset of the industry. So guys enjoying that part. I really love the fact that we've managed to make a change into something that was personally for me a pain point as a CISO. And we've managed to build a solution that provides an answer, a simple answer, I'd say. So I'm enjoying that moment, and I'm thinking about, okay, how we can take that to the next level.
Wow. If you look at your own trajectory as to the world that you're in, you see yourself staying in security, as sort of a life mission. Is this something that you feel, okay, this is something that I truly enjoy and passionate about? Or are there different things that you find that excite you in this world?
Well, it's a combination of, first of all, security. Yes, definitely that, I've been in security for my entire adult life. And I definitely see that as a mission, personally for me, because I don't believe in, if something is not working and if it's broken, and the fact that people for years, have accepted that, that really, kind of bugs me. And that's what drive, my real drive. Besides that, I super enjoy, everything around building a company, interaction with, employees, inspiring, working with customers, learning, by the way, even failing, that's part of that. So
what I was curious about, Guy, if you're looking back now 8 years as to sort of this journey that you've been on and this entrepreneurial journey, putting even security aside for a second, were there things that you're now looking back and saying, wow, this is not something I expected. This is not how I thought it was going to feel like or be, or I didn't expect these to be the challenges that I would be facing as an entrepreneur and as an executive. Do you have any of those examples in mind of things that you're looking back are, wow, this is something that I didn't expect?
Oh yeah, I'd say plenty. I think the journey is nothing that, it turned to be nothing that I thought of, in terms of, expecting, the highs and lows. And I would say daily examples of, activities I didn't think that I would go through. And I find, today in a retrospective, I find as something I really enjoy. So building a company has a lot of aspects that doesn't relate, to security or security market that, you need to actually, learn and grow into. And I think that my personal growth also is something that I really enjoy in terms of, being a CEO, first time CEO, and learning a lot through that, journey.
Amazing. And so if you're looking now to, let's say we're talking to, college students, some of them are excited to start their own journey and become first time CEOs. If you had to distill your ethos now into what is something conceptually that you would advise them to consider or to think about as they're approaching this journey, what would you advise to really keep in mind every day?
So by the way, first of all, I do that today. So part of giving back, I work with young entrepreneurs in multiple programs and share my, my scars and my experience and let them, at least speak from that. The few things that I would recommend any entrepreneur would be, first of all, do something that you're passionate about. it's a tough journey. It's a long journey. So if you enter into it, make sure that you're passionate about it. And it's not just, a cool thing that someone told you about.
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing. Second, surround yourself with people that you trust and people that are positive. It's a tough journey again. So you need positivity along the journey. And maybe the third part is don't get excited or depressed too often about, the highs and lows. It's a roller coaster. Some days you wake up and say like, what the hell have I done? And in other days you think you're on top of the world, take it down a notch and in both ways.
I love it. Guy, I really want to thank you for two fronts. One, for joining this show and for spending this time with me, but also for the amazing work that you're doing with SafeBreach. It's really inspiring for others on the side, and I'm putting myself in that category, to see this journey of yours and what you've built and the concept behind it and the excellency that SafeBreach represents. And I personally know this just from friends who've walked to your own corridors, this culture of excellency and how you're pushing the envelope. And so I really want to thank you for coming here and for spending this time, and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, Guy.
Michael, thank you very much for having me. It was a fun podcast. Thank you.